Episode number 162.
But if you can go work at a large brand that wants to build an agency internally, you have like one definitive client or group of clients. There's a little bit more red tape, but it's not the crazy agency hours and the agency hustle. It's a lot more streamlined. I think it's going to be a big shift.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I am pumped today because we're going to be getting you some results and growing your business or agency. And I'm pumped because we're bringing you our featured guest today, Jonathan Soares. Jonathan, are you ready to be real?
Travis, I'm ready to be real, man.
Let's bring it. Let's bring the fuego.
Let's do it.
Jonathan Soares, he has built a business that no one thought was possible in the agency world. As the founder and CEO of Agency Labs, Jonathan and his team are helping builders and doers and makers deliver more than 600 projects to clients like IBM, Nestle, eBay, and many more, and helping some of the world's leading agency teams achieve peace of mind in every aspect of their technical production. We've given our listeners just a little insight, but how's your day going today?
It's going well. I'm in Connecticut, so it's kind of chilly, kind of nice. So
little sun outside too, and the cool weather.
Oh yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, I like your style. So my question to you is, my man, because was checking out your website here earlier, and Agency Labs. Tell me more about what gave you the epiphany to start this business.
So, like any entrepreneur, I was looking for a problem to solve. I had just gotten out of a 5 or 6 year stint building a consumer products brand nationally.
Oh, wow.
And that was a wild experience. I'd worked with a number of agencies. And as I was looking to start my next business, had a bunch of conversations. And the more agencies I spoke to, the more that kept sharing with me the issues with technology. Here you had a multi-billion-dollar industry. Everyone wanted to be digital. Not necessarily everyone knew how to be digital.
Mm-hmm.
So much of that industry was fueled by one-off freelancers, offshore resources,
right.
Contractors, and it was a huge problem for agencies to manage a lot of these digital campaigns, website builds, mobile apps, you name it. So I had the epiphany to say, let's build a technology team that exclusively supported agencies, both in-house agencies and traditional agencies. And Agency Labs was born. And fast forward 7 years, we built a lot of cool shit over the years, collaborate with some awesome people, and have a lot of fun just coding and building things every day.
So your pipeline is really, you don't have to worry too much about the sales then. You have to kind of just worry about where, your agencies are and kind of helping them navigate the ship. And then they kind of dictate what they need. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a beautiful model because the more time we invest in our agencies, helping them close more work and building up their business, the more work we get. So luckily there's about 40,000 agencies in the US. It's a ripe market. So for us, it's just a matter of getting in front of them, and the rest, it's a nice influx of work that comes as a result.
That's awesome, brother. And so with you guys' own like internal marketing and stuff like that, how do you guys focus to reach out to more agencies? Stuff like the podcast, things like that?
I'm a big believer in podcasts. I think it's a great way to get exposure and to allow people some insight into who you are and kind of what you do and just your personality. Because nowadays it's about, wanting to do business with people you feel comfortable with and that you align with, both personally and professionally.
Right.
But aside from that, I think a lot of, or most of our kind of outreach, it's primarily been through social selling, using a lot of channels, primarily LinkedIn, but we've done some kind of unique kind of growth hacking using, Twitter and Instagram, but we found the most success on LinkedIn. And that's allowed us to really gain a lot of exposure and a lot of face time with a lot of clients.
Oh yeah. Social selling is like the new, back in the day, we'd have to cold call, you'd reach out and you'd, maybe drop by these agencies and say hi, give them some cookies or something. And so now it's a little different. You can just reach out to them on LinkedIn. You could search by the category of type of people you want to find and kind of slowly build a friendship with them, start maybe sharing their content, giving feedback on their content. And then what do you think is the next hook? How do you get them back into like telling them what you do?
So for us, there's multiple steps in that process to kind of warm up the lead. We use a lot of like sales automation tools. So on LinkedIn specifically, there's like auto profile viewers. So the thought there is that if you view someone's profile, there's a high probability that they're going to go back and view your profile. And all of a sudden there's an association. From there, it's taking that approach and then, requesting them on LinkedIn, doing some digging and seeing, if they're active on Twitter, if they're active on Instagram, possibly engaging with them there, liking some of their posts, giving them some feedback on posts. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you've interacted with someone, 3, 4, 5 times. Then when it comes to sending them an email and saying, hey, I'd love to connect offline and talk about how we can collaborate, it's a much different conversation than, picking up the phone and cold calling or just calling someone. You're not investing in building up the relationship on the initial level, so you can't expect too much on the back end as a result. Right. But if you take the time, the conversion rates are much higher if you make that investment.
Oh yeah, it's the future, man. It's absolutely the future, folks that are listening right now. If you haven't tried LinkedIn, obviously get a profile, that's the first step and things like that. But if you're already there, then at the end of the day, just like my man said, build friendship with these people. That's what sales are. We don't want to do business with people we don't like. We avoid the used car sales lot guy because he's trying to sell us something, right? The second we get on the lot, he's trying to sell us something without even knowing what we need, So it's like, hey, a lot of times I'll be honest with you on LinkedIn, I'll accept someone's, LinkedIn profile. If they, request me, I usually accept it unless it's weird or some weird countries or something I don't understand. I'm like, okay, I'll accept it. But the one negative is when you instantly email me something that is like a template, what I mean? Like the first communication, you just connected me and now you're sending me a template and it's like, you just obviously copied and pasted this to everybody, it's nothing personal. So one of the tactics I've always used too is just reference the city where they're at. Say, hey, how's the weather? Or do some research and say, hey, I see it's 70, I see it's in the 70s out there today. I hope you're enjoying your day today. Do a little extra context, right, to the conversation. I think that's obviously a lot of people probably get the same thing I've gotten, spam messages. But the most important thing is it's a very powerful tool to grow your business. And those that aren't taking advantage of it better hop on the tran wagon. So tell me also, what types of agencies do you tend to work with? Are they more bigger agencies or smaller, kind of all around?
It's the full spectrum. We work with a lot of the larger agencies like the Edelmans and Mosses of the world, a lot of the conglomerate-owned agencies, if you would, to a lot of the more like boutique agencies. The cool thing about the agency world is you just never know what kind of projects you're going to get. So whether you're a 5-person agency or, a 5,000-person agency, there's a lot of cool projects floating around. So that's why we really don't discriminate on size or geography. Right. It's really about just establishing the relationship because once an agency feels comfortable about having technology as a superpower that they can, rely on and they can pitch that, it just opens the floodgates of the kind of work that they get exposed to. So for us, if we do good work, it's going to translate, down. It's like a domino effect for these agencies.
Right. They can just use that work to get the next client.
Yeah, because a lot of agencies or even their clients are uncomfortable to some degree with technology. It's an unknown. They don't know necessarily who to believe, who to trust, what's right, what's wrong. Right. So the second you can, take, technical speak and translate that to traditional or standard human speak and make people understand why things are happening and why you're recommending things and why you should do things a certain way, that's when you start bridging the gap and people start feeling comfortable. And next thing you know, it allows you to kind of expand upon relationships and close some pretty cool business because people want to work with those that they trust and those that they feel comfortable with, especially when it comes to tech.
I think the important thing you said there too is bringing it down to common speak because so many of us don't know what all these back-end web codes and techniques and programming language are.
100%.
And so it's like, we just want to know. At the end of the day, most businesses want more sales. They want more sales. They want more conversions on their site. They want more action. They want to see the things are working, but when I've even had some experiences too with some web developer people, and it's like they start speaking another language to you, and you're like, I don't know what you're saying. You know what I mean? And it's bring it back to A, B's, and C's here. So also the thing is in your industry is it's always changing, right? I mean, there's always new things going on.
That's why I love agencies. It's because we're constantly exposed to the most cutting edge stuff. So we're always, right at the cusp of all these new and cool technologies. There's a lot of very unique innovation happening on a daily basis, but there's also a lot of, I guess, marketing fluff where it's a lot of cool theoretical type of technology that people are, upselling, but it's not really as impactful or not as impactful yet. So it's important to kind of delineate between, what's the ooh and the ah and the sizzle versus what's some cool tech that's actually going to, impact my business today.
Got you. Move the dial right now.
Exactly.
So then how do you guys continue to educate yourself? Just constantly reading, learning, being challenged with new, programming languages and things like that?
It's really just diving in head first.
Okay.
Challenge and figuring it out and, trial and error.
That's you learn the best by that's the way you learn the best, right?
Yeah. You can only read so much a day. It's just jumping in head first is what's going to help you figure it out the best.
Yes, absolutely. So right now, businesses are, reaching out to you. What type of projects are they wanting you to work on right now in this 2019 era? Is there certain types of projects more than others that businesses are wanting to take involved in?
It's kind of a mishmash. We do a lot of CMS driven work. That's
Got you.
Drupal and WordPress and these like website builds. A lot of cool like interactive microsites that you see a lot of animations and transitions as you're scrolling down the page.
Oh, got you.
But where we really sink our teeth into is on like custom software. So, let's say an organization is spending, $1 million or $5 million a year in a licensing fee for an HR solution. Why not build that internally and save yourself, 6 or 7 figures on an ongoing basis?
Oh, yeah.
So understanding how, large enterprises can benefit from custom software development is really cool, especially if you know how to architect and plan these things. I think a lot of large organizations are becoming more technology centric, because technology is a part of our lives. In every aspect. So the more you can leverage it, the more efficient and more money you can save depending on how you're using it.
Yeah, like you said, especially if you're paying like a license fee and it's not proprietary, it's not yours. It's essentially you're buying someone else's custom software, right?
Yeah. Have you ever worked with like a CRM, like a Salesforce or any of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've tried 10, 15, 20 different CRMs managing my sales pipeline. And it's just frustrating because nothing is specifically like how I need it to be for my business.
Right.
So it's like I just had my team go out and kind of build my own kind of
that's awesome
mini CRM because I was so frustrated.
You got your own CRM. My man Jonathan's got his own CRM. What about that?
Right.
That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. I think I could see that being just a huge business for you guys continually, is more and more businesses wanting to develop their own software.
Yeah, I'm very bullish on that long term. I think people are getting wind of how it can apply to them and how much money they'll save. And once you kind of equate it with dollars, It's a no-brainer.
Right. And that's millions of dollars coming to you guys.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, you deserve it, man. You work hard. So that's awesome, man. Do you guys do any type of, do you guys hit any of the agency conferences or anything like that? Or do you guys just pretty much stay working?
Really stay working. I did like some conferences and trade shows early on. Mm-hmm. It's tough. I'm kind of biased with trade shows. It's great if you have a lot of customers you can consolidate and meet them collectively at one trade show. Right. That's like no brainer, go do it. But if you're going there to pitch business and there's no other purpose,
it's not really that.
You can take that $5,000 or $10,000 you're going to spend in a booth and,
burn
utilize it a lot more.
Go to a nice dinner or something too, right?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a value, but I think you are also finding those hidden niches, like you said, like you're on the podcast today. We got lots of different businesses and brands and agencies that are listeners. And also, like you said, LinkedIn, there's just so many more efficient ways to kind of get your name out there than having to spend $10,000 and maybe not get anything from it. or just going to lots of events. I think that's another issue with entrepreneurs is because there's so many different conferences out there. They're all, let's just say 500 to 5,000 a pop, but you can spend your whole life going to conferences.
Yeah.
And get nothing done.
It's true.
So
head down and hustle.
The key is hustle, baby. Get that hustle going. And then like you guys have built when I went to you guys' site, I mean, you guys got an impressive list and group of clients that you've served already. Looking through some of them, eBay, Nestle's, IBM, but I saw a lot of different brands over there in that area that I'm sure when someone comes to your site and they're looking, that's the most important thing, right? Is what you've built in the past.
Yeah, we don't have to be in a big city, or have like an insane office in New York or in LA to do that kind of work. We live in an age where if you do really good quality work, you can do that from anywhere.
Right. That's the blessing, right? It's a blessing of the technology that we have today, is that we don't have to be in a Manhattan $15,000 or $20,000 a month rent for you guys.
Yeah. And that's a big reason why we're in Connecticut, is because if we were in New York City, I mean, I'd be paying probably 5 to 10 times what I'm paying in rent right now.
Wow.
I'd have every other tech company poaching my tech team,
right,
for talent.
Right.
The cost of living is so much higher. So, the operating costs are higher, where most engineers, I mean, they're not lit. I mean, there's tons of engineers in big cities, but a lot of like the talent that we're going after, they don't like the hustle and bustle of like a large city. They want, low key, good quality of life. They don't want startup hours. They want, work-life balance, the 9 to 5,
yep,
which, adds value to their lives and, makes us, efficient as well.
Right. So, like if you're in LA, you're spending like 2 hours a day of traffic, just getting around, going. My brother lives 15 miles away from LAX because he's a pilot, and it takes him an hour and a half to go 15 miles. It's like, whoa. I mean, if you're doing that every day, that's a lot of time spent in your life, like you said, I think more and more of our team members, our employees want that work-life balance, and finding ways to do it is the critical mass, because I think there will be over time more and more people not wanting to be in those big agencies and things like that, because they don't want to have that. They don't want to have to spend 2 hours a day in traffic and then have to be in this big old building where there's a million different personalities and also a lot of times in the agency business, they work them to death. They work them, they give you a salary. Hey, Jonathan, I'm going to give you a salary, $100,000. But they work them 24 hours a day almost. They're sending them emails in the middle of the night.
It's unnecessary. I mean, if something can't get done between 9 and 5, there's something wrong, either within the model or with communication. So
yeah, you're not getting paid as an ER or something. It's like, you know, this is not emergency services here. I mean, come on, let's go. But exactly. it's a serious trend, a negative trend, I would say, in the advertising marketing world, especially, where they just work them to, till they give up, until they turn over. A lot of times, and it's good. We had one of our guests, they say, when you're young, you can do that. But when you start to get in your 30s, you don't want to be working, 80, 90 hours a week.
Sure.
And in traffic.
I think that's why a lot of folks in the agency world are jumping ship and going in-house.
Oh yeah.
Because of that.
Oh yeah.
A trend right now. And, the agency world is fighting against it.
Right.
But if you can go work at a large brand that wants to build an agency internally, you have like one definitive client or group of clients. There's a little bit more red tape, but it's not the crazy agency hours and the agency hustle. It's a lot more streamlined. I think it's going to be a big shift.
I've seen that from like journalists and broadcasters too, like people that were in the media, as the media's changed, like news reporters and things like that. A lot of these people are now trying to become in-house to brands, writing the stories and kind of creating the PR in-house. So like
absolutely,
it's affecting many industries, advertising agencies, journalism. But my man, we're about to take you now to the top 10. Are you ready?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do this. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Twitter?
Crypto Twitter.
Crypto Twitter. Oh, nice. Yeah, Twitter is really all about crypto. Chicken, steak, or fish?
I'm a pork guy, but I'll default to
pork.
fish.
Okay, hey, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite pork meal?
Oh, give me a rack of ribs and I'm a happy man.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Laptop or an iPhone?
iPhone.
Movies or video games?
Movies.
Reading books or listening to books?
Neither.
Neither. You don't listen or read. I love that.
No one's got time for that.
No
I
one's
got
time for books.
a 1 month old and a 2.5-year-old. I don't have time
Wow. That's awesome. I have a 55-day-old too, man. I'm right there with you right now. This is my first though. I'm just learning the ropes of parenting here.
How do you have so much energy?
You know what? I don't know because I didn't even have a coffee today. But honestly, I'm still needing to get my coffee fixed. We ran out of coffee, but the podcast truly gives me the energy. I had one. I usually do 2 a week, and it gives me energy. If I don't get to go to the gym and I do the podcast, I find myself having a better day. I learn a lot from the guests. I love interviewing or meeting new people. So yeah, that's part of the energy. And then the rest is just, I guess that's my personality. So getting into this, stocks, crypto, or real estate?
Crypto.
Crypto, baby. Do you have a favorite crypto?
Ooh, this is not financial advice.
This is not a financial show.
Not a financial show. There's a handful of projects I'm pretty excited about. Tomo is one of them.
Okay.
Phantom is another. There's a handful of them, but I'm a big fan of more of the smaller or mid cap crypto projects. Anything under 50 million market cap.
Got you. So you do like to invest into crypto?
Yeah, I've been in it for it's a little over 3 or 4 years. So It's been a fun ride.
You saw the lovely rise in 2017 where the prices were insane.
Oh yeah. Kind of insane.
It was crazy. I always kind of look back at myself and say, I wish I cashed out a little more. You know, obviously you could always look at it and say, oh shit, Bitcoin was 20,000. I wish I maybe sold a few extra ones, or like it was like Bitcoin Cash or whatever it was they gave us for free. That was like 2,800 or 3,000, and now it's like $100.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the future. You know, to be able to program money, to be able to send money around the world, and there's just so many interesting projects out there that you know, in this conversation 10 years from now, it'll be a lot more mainstream. I have a feeling. A lot
more mainstream, and probably 90% of them won't exist.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Some of them will be, you know, oh, I bought that one. That was fun. That was a waste of money. But there's going to be some out there that really stick around and they change the world, and more platforms to buy. You know, you got like Robinhood, Fidelity, places there, you know, to buy it, because it's, for a long time, it was just only Coinbase and Poloniex and some of these other ones. But it's kind of difficult when you really think about it compared to how easy Robinhood has made it. If you check out the Robinhood app, where they just like put your money on there and buy crypto. You know, the only negative on the Robinhood app is you can't send crypto, so you can just buy and hold, right? Or sell, but you can't send it like you would on Coinbase or some of the other exchanges. But it's very interesting. I think that more and more of the millennials especially are looking at crypto instead of even looking at stocks. So oceans or lakes?
Oceans.
Ooh, nice. So a couple more follow-up questions. When you wake up in the morning and you're looking yourself in the mirror and you're brushing your teeth and you're getting ready for your day, why do you love being Jonathan Soares?
Because there's only one of me. I have no other choice. But, you know.
That's awesome, brother. Well, hey, that's the truth. I was actually just the previous show, we were talking about that, because it's like, too often, everyone with social media and things like that want to be someone else. You know, it's like, dude, just be you. Be happy being you.
Exactly.
Too often, man. So how do you typically like to start your day? Do you have a certain thing you like to do to get the day going?
My favorite thing is grabbing my daughter out of bed, making her a baba.
Oh, how sweet.
That's my daily routine. So
isn't there something so special about when you get to feed your daughter?
Oh, it's awesome. It's the best.
I
love being a dad. That's my utmost favorite.
That is awesome, Jonathan. Well, you're an awesome dad. I can already feel it. And then also, do you have a favorite meal? You said ribs. Do you have a favorite place to enjoy some ribs at?
Favorite barbecue joint is probably Hometown Barbecue in Red Hook in Brooklyn. They're legit.
Hometown Barbecue. I'll have to check that out. They have a certain type of rub that you like or anything on the ribs?
Not really rub. I mean, their sauce is pretty sweet, which I like, and just their smoke. I mean, it's a nice slow smoke, and everything's super tender. So
they know what they're doing. So after a big win with the agency, you guys head over to the hometown, get some good ribs.
There you go.
What is the skill you're trying to master this year? Is there something you're really working to master?
Probably two things. So working on more sleep. I'm the 6 hours of sleep a night is just enough. So I got to work on that. And saying no. I've been making progress on.
What's your strategy on that? What's your strategy? Because sometimes that can be hard.
So really, it is just saying no and not worrying about what someone else thinks. You know what I'm saying? When you're someone that you think and you worry too much about what other people think, it makes it difficult to say no because you're worried about how you're going to be perceived.
Right.
So a lot of it is taking the emotion out of the conversation and just, thinking about, yourself and being a little bit selfish. Right. We all deserve to be a little bit selfish.
And sometimes that can be really hard with your business, saying no to customers, saying no to the customers you don't feel is the right fit.
It's funny because with business, it's much easier for me to say no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I kind of find it a little bit opposite. I find for myself, I'm always wanting to see if I can please the client because obviously at the end of the day, you started the business, you want to keep it going. Personal, sometimes I can say no, but for me, for some reason, the business, when a new client comes across, it's hard for me if I feel like it's not the right fit. I still want to find a way. It's something it's a negative trait of mine. It's like I still want to find a way to make this happen. It's like I know this is probably not the right thing, but I'm trying to work on that myself, my man. Just knowing what's the right fit for your business, because you can't work for everybody.
Exactly.
There's probably some agencies out there that you just don't want to work with. Hey, you know what? It's not worth it. Not worth my time.
Yeah, you learn pretty quickly. So hopefully it's a decision that happens early on and you don't get to suffer too much from it.
Right. Yeah, because I've had it myself. I just say yes, and then the next thing you know, it's like, oh God, this is the worst client ever. This is the worst client I ever could ask for. You need to write a bigger check, man. Do you have a favorite app that you like using on a daily basis or a tool?
Uber Eats.
Ooh, nice.
30 minutes. I got something delicious at my door. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking about that with the guests about how you start with a small niche and you can turn it into more. It's like Uber started with just the driving people, and now they're serving food. And then I've even seen ads lately with Uber Freight.
Everything.
They're doing everything, man. Uber Helicopter over where you guys are at. Uber Helicopter.
The Uberization.
Uberization. Would you be an investor in Uber?
Would I be, or would I like to be like 5 years ago?
Yeah, I would like to be like maybe 10 years ago. Oh man. I have a mutual friend that got in on one of the early rounds there, and he's set. He's really fully set.
Yeah.
But it might be a little harder as they go public. I know Lyft's going public tomorrow.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, Lyft's going public tomorrow. The IPOs have been a little interesting this year. Last few years. Be real. Tonight for dinner, you can sit down at hometown with some ribs with anyone in the world. Who would it be?
Oh, this is a hard question. Let me see. It would have to be Michael Jordan.
Ooh, nice. The king, man. Talk about someone that puts in the work too.
Yeah.
Truly, I always love the story of how he got cut from his high school basketball team. It's like, dude, are you serious? Michael Jordan cut from the basketball team?
Yeah, I'm a 90s basketball, 80s, 90s basketball fan.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like modern day basketball, it just doesn't do it for me.
Do you feel like the game has changed as far as just like there's all offense, not as much defense kind of thing?
It's just a softer game. I mean,
softer, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times too, I mean, with all these endorsements and contracts and then crazy compensation, you don't see the heart that a lot of these players had, 20 years ago when they were playing. It's a different mindset and a different league.
Right.
And all the rules too. It's like, it's just
they've got
debilitating when you're playing.
And the crazy thing is these guys are making some serious dough, man. It blows my mind how these, they say the professional athletes, after stopping their, sport, they're like broke in like a couple of years, like 3 to 5 years. They're broke. I'm like, dude, how do you pull that kind of money? Even if you have $1 million, like, come on, man, there's ways to save some of this sucker. Do you have a favorite book, or actually, you don't read books? Do you have a favorite show or podcast you like listening to?
I mean, I have a favorite book.
Oh, you do have a favorite book. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this great book. It's called Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes, yeah. I got that all through high school. I was like, where's the Cliff Notes section at?
Exactly. If anyone has ADHD, the best solution to going through school is Cliff Notes.
One of my favorite quotes or statements was Dan Locke. He's a kind of an inspirational character on the internet and does a lot of business consulting and things like that. But he says, hey, you know what? Get the book and go to the last page of each chapter and read the page. It's not that hard. Or go to the end of the book and read the conclusion or read the, the addendum. And sometimes he said, that's all you need from the book. It was very interesting when I thought of it that way, because obviously a lot of times, you read the book and you keep reading, you're reading, and you don't just think like, what one thing or two things can I get from this book, and then put it down and move on. I think it's interesting. It was an interesting, as someone that I still like to read or listen to books, but quite often, it's just like you just don't have as much time in the day to do it attentively.
Yeah, we live in a society of micro information. It's like little bits, little nuggets of info that you build upon. So to sit there and read a 300 or 400 page book,
right,
about someone pontificating about what they think or how you should do certain things.
Yeah, I
don't know. I'd rather just jump in and figure it out. And
it's like one sentence is really like expanded into like 500 words or like,
exactly.
like 4 hours of your life is combined to like, oh, that would have taken me 5 minutes to read this one paragraph. Thanks for telling me that. No, seriously. But do you have one last real talk thought you can share with our listeners about life, business, the agency world?
Just be you. It's the best thing you can invest in, the best person you can be. Just be true to yourself, and you will get a lot of business because of that.
I love that. Jonathan, I know you're going to be continually growing your agency, man, helping more agencies out there. Agency Lab is the business. And I think you guys are going to be doing tons and tons of more projects in the future, my man. I love your down to earth personality too, that you're not too high on your laurels, as you've built a lot of really amazing things for your clients. And you're an awesome dad, dude. I love that. You're an awesome dad too. So
I appreciate that.
You keep doing your thing, man. Things are just going to keep on ticking and growing. Folks, you've been hanging out with Jonathan Soares and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today.